The public testimony phase of the House impeachment inquiry continuing today with more potentially damaging testimony about efforts to pressure Ukraine to deliver the investigations President Trump wanted.
Today's two witnesses describe seeing U.S. foreign policy yield to what appeared to be a very personal political agenda. Alice Barr with the latest in Washington.
Raise your right hand. I will begin by
For what could be the last time in the Intelligence Committee's impeachment inquiry hearings, two key witnesses stepped forward to piece together what happened in Ukraine and what did not. Fiona Hill, President Trump's former top Russia expert, forcefully discrediting a Republican conspiracy theory that Ukraine, not Russia, interfered in the 2016 election.
This is a fictional narrative that has been perpetrated and propagated by the Russian security services themselves.
That narrative is part of what President Trump wanted Ukraine to investigate, along with Joe Biden and his son. Today, State Department official David Holmes testifying he actually heard the president say what he wanted, recalling how he overheard a phone call between President Trump and his European Union ambassador, Gordon Sondland.
It was quite loud when the president came on, quite distinctive.
Holmes says he could hear President Trump asking whether Ukraine's president would announce the investigations.
He said, oh, yeah, he's going to do it. He'll do anything you ask.
Afterward, Holmes asked Sondland what President Trump thought of Ukraine.
Ambassador Sondland stated that the president only cares about big stuff that benefits the president, like the Biden investigation.
Holmes, the latest witness to say he believes the president wanted those investigations in exchange for Ukraine's military aid and a White House visit.
It was obvious what the president was pressing for.
President Trump denies it, tweeting today the Democrats leading the impeachment inquiry are human scum, with the partisan divide only growing sharper. Fiona Hill warns this is just what Russia wants.
Our nation is being torn apart. Truth is questioned.
And while the impeachment inquiry looks back, Hill urging lawmakers to look forward to guard against the same interference in 2020.